Back with you here at Dover Downs. As you see on the lower part of the screen, you've got Randy LaJoie's car still there. Kyle Petty still nudged up against the 77 of Robert Presley. That is the Johnny Benson car as they head back to the garage. Let's see if we can see anything more from Randy LaJoie's onboard camera. Remember, he had one for us with the Budweiser team. Let's watch.
On the back,
Randy
on the
coming out
bottom.
on the back straightaway in front of him. You can see all the smoke going up. People locking brakes. Randy tries to go the high side loop.
Oh, man.
Well, when they say no place to go, that's exactly what they mean. No place to go. He
It
was
almost
prepped.
looks like a tunnel you're going into.
Yeah, it's very narrow. Very narrow.
Let's go down to the garage. Chad Little has just made his way in.
And Chad Little has just climbed out of the car. Chad, what happened? Can you get back in the race?
Oh, we'll get back in, but, you know, it's going to take a few laps. It damaged the radiator, and I think it broke a idler arm mount or one of the steering mounts because the steering wasn't tight anymore. But it's hard to say exactly the damage is till we get underneath there and look, but it's pretty substantial. I didn't see what happened, you guys. You know, I saw everybody up in front of me, and you know, and I was way slowed down. No problem at all in missing it. And in comes that one of the cars. I hesitate to say because I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know if he didn't see a thing or what the deal was, but he came in there going 50 miles an hour, and two of us were stopped, and we had no problem missing the wreck, and he just ran right into the side of us and, you know, drove us into the guys that were already wrecked. So unfortunate for the John Deere car, but, you know, we'll get it fixed and get back out there and do the point deal.
All right, thanks, Chad.
So there you see those who were involved in the accident. Ted Musgrave has been making a pit stop every time by, so he's still running. But Benson, Petty, LaJoie, Presley, and Little are in the garage area. And Chad, as you just heard, hopes to be able to get back in. Some of the others are still on the back straightaway, so this is going to be a fairly lengthy caution here. Again, a multi-car accident on the back straightaway at lap number 10 as we continue under the caution. Watch Randy LaJoie's in-car camera again. I wonder if he hit the wall, too. Watch this.
On the bottom. On the bottom.
No, he didn't hit the wall.
On the bottom.
Well, right there.
Oh, he
sure
there.
did touch it just a bit. We're back in a moment. It is NASCAR's 50th anniversary. The decal survived, but not much else did on Kyle Petty's car. But tough way to go. There's Johnny Benson's car being rebuilt. His first ever NASCAR race win came here in a NASCAR Busch Series race back in 1994. It's been a good track for Johnny. You might remember that day. He just did beat Harry Gant by a few car lengths after winning the ASA championship. But while this spotter looks on from up high atop the grandstand, and Dale Inman is right next door to him there, spotting for John Andretti, we'll go to the garage and hear from Johnny Benson.
And fortunately, Johnny's standing here. He seems to be okay. Johnny, what happened out there?
We're just running decent, you know. Car's a little tight, and I come under 2 trying to get underneath the 9. I got loose, and that's the first time the car ever showing any signs of looseness, and I was doing everything I could to catch it, and then I stayed off the walls and everything, and then I don't know, everybody started hitting the Cheerios Taurus. It's wrecked pretty bad, but I spun. I thought we were gonna be okay, and then looked like everybody come in there.
Yeah, it was indeed a chain reaction. They are working on the car to try to get him back out there. Let's go to Steve.
Hey, thanks, Glenn, with Robert Presley, who's taking... Robert, first of all, from your perspective, what happened? Can you get the car fixed?
I doubt it. It hit pretty hard, you know, on the front end. And just, you know, typical Dover, you really try to get through these first 10 laps. And I had me a good little cushion between me and the guy in front of us. Just come off there, and Johnny got turned around or spun or something. And by the time I come out of it, somebody hit Kyle, knocked him into us, and then we had a big mess.
Looks like the day's over for Robert Presley.
But you know, Johnny Benson was right. That might have been the first time all weekend we've heard the term loose used in relation, because the new Goodyear tire, if anything, as good as it's adhering to the track, has given these cars a push, buddy, as opposed to them being loose. And I guess if you're pushing, if nothing else, maybe you can just kind of get off the gas and help save yourself.
Well, let's talk about that a second. Overnight, no matter what racing surface it is, it gets a lot of sand and stuff on it. So the first few laps, everybody's out there. You get a little bit out of the groove, and you get into what we call a loose condition because of excess buildup on the racetrack.
Though you saw Buckshot Jones, some damage to the right front of the Circuit City Chevy. Meanwhile, Glenn, I see running through the garage area. Let's go right down there. I think Kyle Petty's nearby.
Yeah, I caught up with Kyle. We haven't caught up with his race car yet. They're waiting on it, and man, the door slams in a hurry back there, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, talking to Benson riding in the ambulance, he said that he got loose or it got away from him a little bit. We all slowed down, and somebody's driving with their head up the rear end behind us and running the back of me, launched me into the 77, and his day was over with after that.
Okay, we're going to get out of the way here. King Richard's moving us out of the way. The race car is finally here. They're going to work on it, try to get him back out there.
And Randy LaJoy also on the sideline. Randy, what's your situation?
I'm not sure. Budweiser Chevrolet took a pretty good shot in the right front. Just one of those deals that happens at Dover. I guess it was two different wrecks. Johnny Benson spun, and then somebody got in the back of Kyle and got Kyle going for a ride. I passed a couple cars on the outside, spotted to slow down, got nailed in the left rear, and just got caught up in it. I mean, we had a good car last practice, but it don't look like we'll be able to fix it. We'll see. Hendrick Motorsports does a good job. We'll see if we get the thing back out there, ride around, get some points.
Thanks, Randy.
So Johnny Benson, Randy LaJoy, Kyle Petty, Robert Presley, Chad Little. Those cars in the garage area right now. And some may be able to return. Others certainly will not. But we are now a lap away from going back to high-speed racing. Jeff Gordon, the leader. Mark Martin is second. Dale Jarrett third. Rick Mast fourth. And Ricky Rudd fifth. There is the one-to-go signal by a Delaware native, Rodney Wise, atop the flag stand. There's Jeff Burton still back in 37th spot. He had backslid to 42nd during that first 8, 9, 10 laps of green flag racing, guys.
The big point is he's getting the tire heat back into the car, and he missed the wreck. That's the big thing.
Matt, what was the deal there on the initial start for Jeff Burton?
Eli, that caution came at the most opportune time for Jeff Burton. His car had gone bad loose. He nearly lost it. They brought it in not once but 3 times to check the chassis to see if they might have had a shot going away. They did make a wedge adjustment. Also, they came back in the last time around and topped off with fuel. That could easily push his fuel window to around lap 115.
Interesting. Again, a report of a loose race car.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
That young man there has been flagging races from his grandstand seat for years. He started, it was just a little tight.